Wonderful. As you can see, so meditation can help teachers, institutions, students all across in developing education excellence. So, from panelists here, I'd like to hear from each of you your experience in your area of how education has helped, meditation has helped education. So I'll start with Dr. Manjuji. Amazing. I know you run a lot of institutions and you've been practicing meditation. So just your view on your experience on how meditation has helped.
Yes.
Good afternoon, friends. Thank you for having me here. Now, let me tell you that I have been connected to education for the last 48 years. Right from the pre-primary to almost MPhil, I have taught at every level. What is education? Are we giving the right kind of education? Yes, today we have focused so much on knowledge. We have so much on information. But our revered Dada J.P. Vaswani said that if anything can change India, it's the right kind of education. And when asked what is right kind of education, he says you have focused too much on the head and the hand, but you have overlooked the heart. So what education we give is so superficial that we don't touch the heart of the students. That is why you find IIT and all these people commit suicide, because they have not learned how to be a human being. They have just become educated. Now, how do you educate the heart? And it starts when you're very young. Dada's philosophy was catch them young. He told us one story which has left such an impact on me that there is never a talk where I don't mention this story. He said that there was this child. Children are very distracted, and when they do something, they love to show their parents. So there was this little child who had done a beautiful drawing, and he wanted to show his father. And his father was looking at the TV, seeing the share market going up and down, and told him, come after 5 minutes. The child, being restless, went again after 5 minutes and said, Papa, please see my drawing. The father didn't see the drawing and said, come after 5 minutes. But children never give up. That's one thing I like about them, that they never give up. He went again. Now the father said, look, I can't fight a losing battle. So he said, where they were sitting, there was a newspaper where there was a world map. He said, if I tear this world map and tell him to set it right, he can't do it. A 5-year-old child doesn't know how to set the world map. So he gave him and said, set this world map and come. After 5 minutes, the child came with the world map. He says, how did you do it? He says, behind the world map, there was a child's picture. I set that right. Set the child right and the world will be set right. So our duty lies to setting the children right with the right kind of education. We think they don't understand when they're very young. I recollect I studied in St. Mira's College, and Dada J.P. Vaswani was the principal of the college. He was MSc and a rank holder, a brilliant teacher. And one day he called me and said, do you have me time? So I didn't know what was this me time. He said, okay, do you have an appointment with yourself? I said, no. He says, always have 5 minutes appointment with yourself. I was 16. There was no word meditation then. He said, go have 5 minutes to yourself, your me time. And he said, sit in the same place every day and just be quiet. When I was quiet, I was very, very lively and full of musty. So, all kinds of thoughts started coming to my mind. And I asked him, but all kinds of thoughts come when I sit with me time. He said, thoughts are like naughty children. The more you stop them, the more they will come. So just leave them. You leave the child alone 5 minutes, he'll play, 10 minutes, he'll destroy. After that, if you don't give him attention, he sits quietly. You can try it with the children. So he said, don't give attention to the thoughts. Just let them come, let them go, and you will find peace with yourself. And that is how what you call meditation today was me time, appointment with myself daily, we started. And then I started teaching in colleges. In colleges where we studied in Bombay South or where I taught, there's a lot of distraction. A lot of people were just full of beans. And one day I said, what I have learned, can I pass it on to them? And that time I was just a teacher, a junior college teacher. So one day I told them, every day before I start teaching, I will make you sit in silence for 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes alone. In the beginning, they laughed. And then came what you talk about today. Some came and told me, ma'am, I was so stressed, but suddenly I'm feeling better. They made it a habit. And what is a habit? Once you form it, it becomes a second nature, it becomes a part of life. Like take away the H, a bit remains, take away the A, the bit remains, take away the B, it remains. So I think this habit of meditating plays a very, very important role. Later, we introduced yoga in the college, and we found that I think most of the times we are reluctant, thinking, will they do it? But let me tell you that they are ready, they are open minded, and if something they like, today the youth practices more meditation than we do. But they are very distracted. You're living in the world of technology. Earlier, our concentration, they used to say, you can concentrate for 15 to 17 minutes. Today, you can't concentrate for more than 5 to 6 minutes. You want to see what your phone is saying. You feel as though everything is in that mobile of yours, and you have become a slave of your own creation. You have to be the master of your creation, but you have become a total slave. Here is where we say detoxification of mobile, of electronics, that meditation will help. It helps in excellence. It helps you how to perform well in the exam. But I tell you that you don't know how the impact of the teacher or education or the mother goes a long way even with a small child. I have two grandnieces, they are 5 years old. And their uncle keeps on telling them when they make too much noise, he tells them, come on, sit down, say oh. And they say, then he says, no, sit quietly for 2 minutes. Then, when they fight, then he says, now your anger is gone? They say, yes. So one day I told them, if you don't do this, I'll get angry. You know what she told me? Sit down, close your eyes, say om 5 minutes, your anger will go away. So that, we never realized that sentence could have such an impact on. So what is education? Is education a book knowledge which you learn today and forget after writing the exam? Education is not for living. Education is for life. What you carry with yourself. So I think these kind of experiences, where you take them far beyond the classroom, it reduces. I think we are leading a life of stress. Today, in my time, there was no word stress. We never said I'm stressed. Today, parents are scared of their children. Do you agree with me that parents are kahin kuch kar nahi baithe? I have a case where the student copied in the exam and we were going to take a serious step. The mother came, the father came and said, आप कुछ action मत लीजिए, कहीं वो कुछ कर न बैठे, तो क्या करेगा? He said, वो कहीं suicide नहीं कर ले, which means you've not taught them to value life. I think the first thing we need to teach our children is to value life, how precious this life is. How many of us, you think you discard anything which is precious? You discard what you don't like. So you discard, if you don't teach them the importance of life, I think through education, to my mind, which will come through the form of various kinds of technology will help. I am very much for technology because if you're not living with times, you're outdated, you cannot work. But let there be a balance, a holistic line where you're going to educate their heart. Let them be mindful of what they are doing. I think you're not mindful. We eat. What do? You feed the children showing them the cartoon. Correct? Do you agree with me? Now you feed the child, he eats anything that you give him because he doesn't even know what he's eating. Make yourselves mindful. Meditation does not mean only sitting in silence. Meditation is far beyond. It's a very wide term. It is heartfulness, gratefulness, gratitude for all that you have. And to my mind, you have to tell me to stop because I'm a teacher. So you will have to understand that through education, and if you want excellence, don't count excellence by 99.60 or 99.9. Today you're counting excellence only with marks. That is not excellence. True education is bringing up good human beings with great values of valuing life, of speaking the truth, integrity, all these things. Patriotism. These are the things which our education system should find. And I know that I spent a lot of time with my students telling them how to concentrate. We didn't have this 1 hour meditation program, but we definitely inculcated and we called people from outside so that they teach them formal meditation. And I cannot tell you how the beneficiaries have benefited when I meet them anytime. The only thing they say, we remember this. They don't remember your history, geography, sociology, psychology. They remember what you have taught them for life. They remember more by example. So I think the education system should live by example rather than anything else. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Me time, having a me time, having that everyone understand the importance of me time. Of course, meditation needs to be with ourselves and being open. I think for all parents and teachers and educators, being open that students are ready to take meditation. I think we stop creating the judgment in ourselves. So thank you for your sharing. So Amitji, your take on your experience of meditation with education.
My experience may not be as large, certainly, but I'll add some. Thank you so much for that insight, for sure. See, first of all, like till the time I started doing meditation, I didn't even know there was a different dimension to life. You see, like, and the world, as she's also talking about, the world doesn't necessarily fully appreciate this dimension, which we try to explore and even share with ourselves. We could be happy. Yeah. We could be even fine with normal existence. As she talked about IIT, if you are one of those bright IIT student, your life will just pass by and everybody, the society, family, everybody will say, yes, 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 well done. And at the end, will be the deathbed that doesn't miss anyone. So when I got introduced to meditation and I realized this is important, if people can finish this life from the end of, complete the life without even any exposure to this dimension, it feels hollow. And I think the morning, the Didi was giving a beautiful talk and she also mentioned the children already are into that dimension. You see, like we adults need to be retaught what we have sort of were born with. And so why not, as she's talking about, tap it at that moment rather than teaching something which is basically they have to eventually unlearn, just water the seeds which are going to be helpful. I'm also a meditation teacher. When we teach meditation to adults, we teach just the way she was talking about, if you are angry, you sit cross-legged, or if your anxiety, sit cross-legged, just breathe in, breathe out for some time, it will go away. Try. After 1 week, they come and they say, sorry, it doesn't work. So, did you try? Yeah, I tried once, it just doesn't work. Give me something else. I'll tell you another story. Similar situation. This is one of our students. There is a school that Ananda runs in Palo Alto, and this is called Education for Life. Again, the same principles are taught to the children. So this child was traveling with her mom, and in the flight, and there was a lot of turbulence. So much turbulence that everybody was scared, including this child. And of course, if there's a turbulence, it was commotion because people were afraid. There was anxiety. What is going to happen? It was just going up and down. And while all of a sudden, mother's heart, so she started looking for what my child is doing. I should comfort her. And she found her child properly tightened her seatbelt, sitting cross-legged on that little tiny chair or little tiny body on the chair. She just closed her eyes. And she said, in that moment, rather than me comforting her, she comforted me. You see, I think Manju just mentioned that you give them a thought and it is sort of the truth for them. You are like the channel of divine, they won't speak it like that. And that is what the importance of education is. What we give them, it is going to remain. So as in the morning, the Didi was telling you can tell them, yeah, the small star is pointless, just focus on the bright star, they will look at it. But as an educators, if we give them the other alternative of an inclusivity, there's a great, great potential. So with that interest, again, I'll just share one more effort which is going on in Gurgaon, in another school. As again, Manjuji is one of the educators, and we spend a lot of time with our own children, but the maximum time, where do the children spend it? In the schools. So educators, so enabling the educators is a effort which is going on there. And again, when we started this project, a little hesitant was there because again, teachers' lives are not easy. Those of us here, we are like software, just sit in your comfortable AC cabins and whatnot. Tremendous demanding job. 2 hours if I go and spend time at the school, we get exhausted, but they don't. So they were given like, oh, after this, what? Another class. And we said, no, and you have to come to the preparatory class also. So 2 more class a week. But they participated for a month and they said, this is not too bad. And slowly then they started liking it, and then through them we introduced some exercises which could be done with the children. And now when they came back sharing, this is again part of the story where the teachers were sharing, they say, by participating in that exercise, they themselves were rejuvenated. So yes, 1 extra hour was added to the schedule and probably 2 hours a week. But by doing that thing, they were feeling rejuvenated. And now going to the students, they just love that session. And as again Manjuji mentioned, we talk about what is the purpose of life. That seems like a too big a question to answer right now or even address. But the purpose, whatever it is, isn't it true that the purpose of education should be that we support that possibility? Whatever that purpose is. And she said, we don't have like, we're not there to be just the doctors or, she said, we're human beings. And again, ponder, what does that contribute? What does that attribute? What is a human being? What is our life? We play so many roles. Every role comes with a different demand if we're equipped to do correctly. Rather than judging, this is the best person, this is not. Just allow everyone to be what they're supposed to be in that moment, like a big bagicha of humans. So this particular exercise, as I said, it ends on the day of graduation where every student gets a prize. It's award ceremony. But the difference is that everyone gets an award. And it's not just a consolation, okay, you're first, you're second, so everybody. No, a unique award based on what is unique inherent inside you. Somebody may get like the normal awards that you did well in mathematics, you're a great mind. But then somebody gets some award for you are a nice being, you are very quiet, you are very vibrant, energetic. So every child, and that is what the teachers can facilitate. And in that process, everybody gets a very beautiful energetic exchange. I feel that these are the couple of things that I am very much convinced in the sense like, as she was talking about, to transform. See, we are a lot of work, we sort of formed. But starting from that space of education, a generation can be changed. And that is a great, great, great potential.
Thank you. Thank you, Indu, and great to hear the work again, talking about bringing meditation to the educators, the teachers, that will help transform the students. So that's a great message. Thank you. Yes, Narendra.
Yeah, at the outset, I am grateful to Master Chandra and the team for giving me an opportunity. And all of us who are now being introduced to meditation in the last 4 to 5 years, we are grateful to our somebody who has introduced us to meditation. Like, no, I am very much grateful to Padma Shri Dr. D. Karthikeyan. And there is a lot of people who are really grateful to him. Now, in this particular hall, each one of you are also being one or other way introduced by somebody. After being getting the benefits of meditation, are we not having some obligation that we need to really pass on that the benefits of meditation to others? So, in that particular thing, like earlier we talked about how we could do that in our organizations, and the organization excellence can be achieved. But even at our own home or in our neighborhood and in the vicinity, we find a lot of students, lot of young generation who have completed the studies but not having enough engagement or productive engagement. Now, that is the period we should be of help to them in meditation, because the India is having the median age is around 28 years, and the next our driver of growth is by youth power, and that youth of ours will be there for some time, and there is the other side, there will be a lot of age people also. So the youth power has to be mopped up in terms of productive and very engaged, meaningful, purposeful their contribution, and for the societal benefit and the global benefit. That's where our Prime Minister also has been talking. So right from their younger days, from the college days, school days, as well as in their youth ages, this meditation will become a very guide and driving their inner energy, driving their creativity, driving their some quest for achieving something in their life. So I am definitely that one pledge all of us can take, that at least 2 to 3 new references from the young age we will undertake after this program. But another important point is the youth or the students can be very peaceful and happy if the teachers are also not, because there is a definitely teachers have a bigger challenge, and if the teachers are agitated, then that school or that study or whatever, the children also are not going to get benefit. That can be a mechanical way of learning, but it will not be enduring learning. So at the same time, I am also a son of a teacher. So the teachers are also having so much pressure, so much. It's not that they are all education institution allow them to work in a free manner, and they are not so much empowered. So everywhere there is an element of rat race, where you need to get your class, that should be 100% distinction. That is what going on, and what you have found out the NET also, what is happening and all this. So this because this in this period only because only few are privileged, lot of people are not privileged. So that's where one more area that we have to say, at least we'll reach to at least 2 teachers in our area and make them to practice meditation, not only themselves but also in the school. And I am sure every educational management will open uply accept if the meditation is introduced, because they would like to have something new to be created, and even though it may not be a part of the curriculum, because in some definitely there will be yoga or fitness, well-being, mindfulness and meditation will be there. But if it is not there also, wherever the management will be too happy that if some teacher takes some her own initiative, and that has been proved in our last 5 years, lot of teachers and lot of others who are also meditating on our 40 days, they talk that they have introduced and they have found very successful. So in that respect, my own experience that once, I was along with my another co-director, we were invited to, you must be knowing Adani Foundation. Our Gautam Adani, that Adani is doing very well. So they run one school in Ahmedabad. So they invited. So my other co-director talked lot of tips for young students and all. And instead of myself talking, I said I will do a meditation session. And including the teachers, including the principal and the students, I did the meditation program. And I'm very happy. A few of them went into transcendental meditation also, including in the teacher as well as students. So they were all very happy that instead of simply talking, you did the meditation, and that become a very useful exercise. Similarly, I was invited to talk during COVID to the UGC teachers, 7 days program. So my class was in the last day. So last day, after talking to them online, it was during COVID only, I said, now I will do at least 10 to 15 minutes meditation for you. So I did the meditation. Then all the teachers and all of them, after meditation, they told, the last 7 days we are only hearing, and everybody coming and talking. So whereas your meditation gave us a very cool, and we could refresh, and we could be little, get into the mode of emptiness, and our energy energized. So in anywhere, of course, I am in corporate world also now. After getting into with the CEO, where we go, one attempt I do is to get them into the meditation mode. Recently, there was a conference in Goa, and all over India, their sales representative. There again, they gave me kindly talk. I said, I am not going to talk. I will do meditation. It was more than 350 people. So they were happy. So if we make up our will that what we have experienced and what we are getting benefit, then it is our bounden duty to talk to others. And in that, today being education, it is merely by talking, merely by telling, it will not happen. We have to continuously pursue, and the ultimate benefits they should get, because as madam said, the value of life, or the values in life, or the meaningfulness in life, the purposeful life, in all that can be obtained throughout their life. They have meditation. Some of us know, we now recall that if this meditation would have been introduced to us at least 20-25 years earlier, of course, you few of would have been also, but other than that, it would have been much better. We were introduced at the time, it is at the later part. So if that is the case, we have to necessarily see that this is an opportunity for us to introduce this to education institute. And some of you can volunteer that I will come and do myself to the education institution, and they will welcome.
Thank you. Sir. Again, I think the message here, give a gift of meditation. That's all the children need, because they are already empowered. So thank you for that message. I just want to end this with your views, each of your panels' view. Of course, all of you are doing many things to promote meditation, but what can government and general institutions and organizations can do, right? One sentence, if you can, each of you can add how. Yes.
Number one, it should be remembered that teachers are the soul and the heart of education system. So having right kind of teachers with positive attitude. I think teaching is not a profession. Teaching is a vocation. I mean, if you go back to the history of India, what we had really taught, the teacher was one who taught them self-control. I mean, the whole Brahmacharya ashram was based on this one theory, self-control. So I think if we, a saint was asked, what is the greatest need of America? And he said the greatest need of America is to slow down. And they asked him, what is the greatest need of India? And he said, I put down my head in shame and said that the greatest need of India is men and women of character. And he then said that character which is built in schools. So teachers can do it. So the first thing, if you want a recommendation, we should we make them do BA, DA. They don't really train them for a lifelong learning. I think with the new education policy, there is a lot of focus on value based, but it should be structured. I think meditation should be a part of the curriculum. If you give 6 hours every day, 6 hours, 20 minutes every day, like in all our Dada's institutions, we have something called sanctuary. We begin our day by sanctuary. Now, there is a thought for the day, talk, and 5-7 minutes meditation, but everybody goes with that vibe. And I think the impact of teaching them positivity. I think what we have taught them is competition. What we have to cultivate is cooperation. We have not taught them cooperation. We just teach them how much have you got, including the teachers. I'll give you a star if you get 99.9. You will not get 2 stars. I mean, from childhood, you have only taught them that victory is very important. You have to be successful. But all can't be successful. I think somewhere in our teaching methodology, what we have to do, teach them that failure and success of 2 sides of the same coin. So people will learn to accept failure. Our parents have one child, and we are all the time putting all the attention on the child and saying, you have to achieve this. I mean, you're focusing on false achievement. I think my recommendation would be that the teachers have to be trained. You know what teachers are trained today? Don't write anything negative about the student. Student today, what parents are doing, if a teacher shouts in the school, they don't even want to know why teacher shouted. Teacher shouted at you, and with very armed, they go to the school and says, why did you do it? So you're not teaching them respect. The second thing, which is most essential for any educational institution or for anyone in life, is reverence. Reverence to all life. Dada used to say, for reverence, those who are above you, for those who are below you, and those who are with you. Today we have lost reverence. Earlier, even an elder neighbor was revered. Now we don't have. I think if you go back, new education policy is focusing. I mean, I'm glad that, I don't know if they make it politically different or religiously different, is not my concern. I am saying spirituality, where focus is on understanding yourself, where the focus is on peace of your mind. I think we're very restless. Nobody is at peace. And as long as you're not at peace with yourself, you cannot be at peace with anybody else. I think the greatest need of today is the peace.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Amitji.
Yeah. See, we call this kind of education as an alternative education. That's part of the thing we can change. She was talking about making like what governments. So I think some places it is happening. Like we just saw the video where the Delhi government has made meditation or some kind of a life skill training part of the curriculum itself. I think that certainly is a need, so that this doesn't become a privileged few or alternative, but this is mainstream. And then as she mentioned, like who is going to deliver that? See, even if we have made it a part of the curriculum, to the extent it can be delivered to the students, it's not an easy job. For teaching meditation in an audience like this is probably much easier. Even saw there was just one slide. But to students, it's a little challenging. She was talking about the life skills and this is through the teachers. So facilitating them all, and that is probably more for the educators if there are any in this audience at the moment, is also what is the system. Paramahansa Yogananda ji, who's teaching with it present, he also started his mission with the school. That was the first thing. But he also realized this challenge, just the way Manjuji says, Dada taught her to go me time, you see, because the children couldn't understand necessarily you watch your breath. They need to be taught in a different language. So she developed a system called as recharging exercises. So like, this is the energy. You need to be aware and master your energy. Everything else will be taken care of. But it needs to be taught in a more creative way, especially when it comes to children. Some way. And that is where I think as she's saying, the vocation of a teacher is more important. Those who are inspired to do that. So as an educator, that's the work in progress, which is for everyone to do in their capacity. Because in that, see, what we are preparing for the children is not just for a particular profession or anything like that, preparing for life. And what does life entail? I think all of you will resonate. There are a lot of elements to life, isn't it? So, creating an environment, and on lunch, I think we were discussing with Chandraji. This is what every child will learn from that we do not know, but we can create an environment. So the exercise is like, we cannot say, don't lie. That doesn't work. But you create an environment where truthfulness is encouraged. As a practice, they understand by their own experience, when I don't do it, it doesn't work. When I do it, it works. And that's a very beautiful invitation. We're creating like something we have lost probably. We used to call it a Gurukul system, a system which is for learning and preparing the children for life. And in that, I think everybody will grow.
So we have, Rakesh knows, when Master Chandra was coming to Mangalore, we wrote to the Vice Chancellor of the Mangalore University and he gave you a date. So same way, same Vice Chancellor was participating whenever we conducted a meditation program also online. So I think the governor of each state, because under them the Vice Chancellors will come. So if we are aiming at a little higher level of colleges, because all the colleges are affiliated to a particular university, and each of those universities comes under the governor. So we should be able to reach out to one is the respective state. It cannot be that no, we'll do everywhere. So our own home state, Bangalore, if we are able to reach out to the governor and do that program, and nothing prevents him to write a letter to all the Vice Chancellor, or when they meet on Vice Chancellor's meeting, on Sunday there will be regular meeting, then we could also do a meditation. Second is the State Department of Education, where the State Education Minister and the very secondary or the primary or the any education department, of course, today politicians are fully privileged, but at the same time fully tension. So even the education minister, I am sure if you are really approaching, he would welcome, because for himself itself also, and a few of them would have been already exposed, their meditation will help them in their effective functioning. So once they get into that mode, then naturally every state may like to introduce the meditation at least at a level of high school level, and little later that, or even maybe 8th, 9th and 10th standard. Because like what he said, I also, being my own school, I went and I did the meditation, and they have assembled all the students. And even in the college when I was talking on the meditation, and I said all our hearts are similar and we have a wavelength of love and affection. So the students were very much impressed of a different way of talking. Otherwise, no, कोई management book से इससे बात करके उनको कुछ tips खोल के, no, you have to be little practically. So I am sure it may not have that in our overall thing we have achieved. Now there can be specifically catch them young. If the education sector, we have to put a special effort. And amongst our meditator also, there are a lot of teachers. And through them, a special effort can be done. And I'm sure we will get success.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Again, I'd like to summarize what I consistently hear, right? Bringing meditation into schools is necessary, but more importantly, creating that right environment in the school. And that starts with teachers, bringing the meditation and the right wisdom with the teachers, so that the environment that is created is right. And Narendra sir, as you pointed, it can start with the government too, being
And in
facilitator.
every school there is a teachers parents association. So they have I think regularity of meeting. Even in there, if we do it, then we would have reached to the parents of the children also, and they would naturally. That is again another important aspect.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. It was an honor to listen to all your messages and experiences. So thank you.